What's up, Buff Nation, and welcome into Buff's News Weekly Live. I'm your host, Russ, and it is a Monday show, December 8th, for your Colorado Buffaloes, and we've got a lot to talk about, things that happened over the weekend, things that are coming up. As you guys said in the comment, there really is a lot to talk about. Okay, there is a lot of stuff. And Joe, it is why David and I freaked out that Brendan Marion was coming to Colorado, because you do not leave a head coaching job after 1 year to come be an OC unless Coach Prime in Colorado, we're going to give you the keys to the offense, meaning you get to do the recruiting, you get to do the play calling and the offensive game planning. Okay. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, it was absolutely perfect of what's going on. Okay, absolutely there. I didn't move the spot. Did I move the time to 4:20? I didn't touch anything. I thought it was set 4:30. The computer must have done that. I must have not touched anything. I don't know. Okay. I think Brendan Marion is going to use every resource available to him. Okay. Every resource available to him to get the guys for his system, because the one thing that Brendan Marion has been good at his entire career in college football is high school recruiting, guys. This is your answer to everything that you've been saying. Everything you've been saying. I appreciate you guys. You guys are funny. What's good? Appreciate you dropping by as well. Let's go. Sco Buffs, as always. What's good? Love you guys. Love you guys with already the loves. Wrist up. Yesterday was a great day to be a Buffs fan. This weekend was a great time to be a Buff. So we're all doing that. Yeah, I'd be fine if you wanted to come and be like a backup. He's not coming to start at corner, that's for sure. Yep. Getting that 2028 offer out there, looking for that post-Juju quarterback. Brendan Marion already doing. Appreciate you, Northside, as always. What's up? We need some big dogs. Recruit 60 to 70 high schools. Build with that. I don't think we're getting 60 to 70, Johnny, okay? Yes, off topic, but he absolutely did ball out. He absolutely did ball out. What a game. And again, the Browns showing why they are the Browns. That's what happens when you get young coaches and let them do what they want. They probably will get a 26 quarterback at some point. But portal probably is where we're going to get a quarterback. Yep, bingo. That's what happens when you get young coaches and let them do what they want. Brendan Marion is changing the game at Colorado, and I would not be surprised if he is the head coach in waiting at Colorado. I would not be surprised if him and Coach Prime have a plan put in place. Probably what I would assume a 3-year plan. That's what I think. A 3-year plan. Hey, Brendan Marion, stay around, build your offense, build this team with me for 3 years, and then I'll hand the keys off to you. Who knows? Who knows? That's what I'm thinking. O-line and D-line dogs need to be up. Yep. I watched some old games of Brendan Marion. I'm not sold in the go-go offense unless he's going to clean some things up. Oh, I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what you're watching. There's a lot of great things to be had when it comes to the go-go offense. A lot to be had. Hopefully Marion can revamp this offense and bring in Colorado O-linemen. Appreciate you, Terrell. I'm ready to see what Dion will do on the defensive side. Get his friends the hell out of town. Agreed, your mom. That's going to be, I think, Prime's. I think right now, the way things are going, Prime can focus on the defense now. He can solely focus on the defensive side of the ball. Work with Robert Livingston to figure out personnel, to figure out what they're doing together. Let Brendan Marion, let him have full reign control of the offense. Let him go. Let him go at Colorado. Let him be in charge of the recruiting aspect of the offensive side. You know, give him some parameters to work with, but say, hey, this is how many scholarships you've got to recruit with every year. Go out and get your guys. Like, I think that's what needs to happen when it comes to that. Good time to be a Buffs fan. Appreciate you. Don't worry, defensive. Exactly, Cam. They're coming. Prime does have better grasp on defense for sure. I don't know if you've seen, but that dog at linebacker coming out of Tulsa looks like a game changer. I tweeted about him. I got to see more stuff about him. Stats-wise, absolutely looks dominant, but got to take a look at the actual tape and see how he does. Because, again, level of competition still has to be taken into account. And you've got to say, okay, are there cerebral football knowledge type things with him that would translate to the next level? Okay, that's where it's at. Bring in Pat Surtain, let Kevin Mathis go to Southern. Pat knows how to recruit high school. I would absolutely love. I mean, you want to talk about the perfect offseason? If Coach Prime brings in Pat Surtain Sr., which, guys, I don't know how he's not immediately on the phone. I don't know. For all we know, there could already be something in place, but the moment he got fired, Coach Prime should have been on the phone with Pat Surtain Sr. to bring him to Colorado, whatever it takes. Who doesn't want to come coach with Coach Prime? Who doesn't want to come coach in the same state as your son plays professional football? So you'll get to see all his games on Sundays while also coaching on Saturdays. I think that's an absolutely perfect thing. They better go get it. They better go get it. How important is Marion not only being the OC, but the quarterback coach? I think it's very important because need him and Juju's ear about the go-go offense and what Juju needs to see and understand. I think it's a huge thing, Eric. I think that's probably the biggest thing that we need to take away from this is the fact that he is going to be, that is the most important aspect to the go-go offense, by the way, guys. The most important part of the go-go offense is the quarterback. The decision-making, the ability to deliver the ball, those are all things that are going to have to be there. And he is going to work right alongside, hand in hand with Juju Lewis to get him up to speed, to get him ready to go. Because I'll be honest, Juju might be one of the best quarterbacks he's ever had use this system. And by that, I mean the best arm. The best arm talent, accuracy, and the best, I would say, just ability overall that he's probably had run this offense. Now, Northside, this is the key. Unless the offense is still being developed. The go-go offense is not a black and white, this is it, this is what you get. There are so many things that he can adjust and adapt in that offense depending on the personnel that he has. But my favorite part about the go-go offense, which I think a lot of people need to understand as we head into this offseason, is the go-go offense does not need the best talent to operate at a high level. I loved hearing that from Brendan Marion. I've been watching his tape. By the way, guys, I am putting together a profile video. If you guys have been on part of my channel, you know that I like to do a good profile video. Had one on Caden Salter, had one on Julian Lewis, did one on Travis Hunter last year for the Heisman. Going to be doing one for Brendan Marion. We're going to put together an entire video where I'm going to take all the videos of Brendan Marion on the internet. I'm going to talk about Brendan Marion. You're going to find out what was his playing career, coaching career, everything that you need to know about him, all at once. All at once. You are going to find out in one video. My hope is, guys, depending on my time, but I hope to have it out earliest Wednesday, latest by the end of the week on Friday. So be on the lookout. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you know when that video posts. It's not going to be a live. It'll be a hard video. Probably 10 to 20 minutes, depending on, the content and what I want to put in there. But the idea is to get a Brendan Marion profile so you guys have a better understanding of where he was, where he's come from, and where he's planning to go. Because the more I look into this guy, I'm telling you, I hope that he is the head coach in waiting. I hope that we can keep Brendan Marion around long enough that we can potentially have him as the coach in waiting. Because, again, Coach Prime can only coach for so long. And with his health issues and all that other stuff going on, he's not going to be one of those coaches coaching into his 80s. He's not going to be some really, really old coach that you've seen in the past in college football. So if they could have a plan in place together, that they could do this together, I think it would be the smartest move that we could possibly have for Colorado moving forward. Okay, that's where I'm at, Northside. Super chat, Keith. Of course, Keith is one of my longtime members. In fact, Keith might be the oldest member of the channel. Appreciate you, Keith. Appreciate you big time for being a part of this. Hold on one second. Okay. Sorry. Apologies for that. Had something caught under the desk. Okay. All of USC's defensive line is in the portal. Yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Big 12 right now, for a team like Colorado that was supposed to be in disarray, and we'll get to the topic of the show here momentarily, Arizona State today has lost their starting quarterback and their starting left tackle to the portal. Now, Kenny Dillingham seems to be completely fine and okay. He probably knows something that we don't know, whether that's a quarterback that he already has in place to come in. He says they're going to be fine at quarterback. But then the fact is they lost that. West Virginia lost their running backs. They had 2 running backs enter the portal. Wouldn't hate Jaheim White coming to Colorado. The problem I have with Jaheim White is the injury he's coming off of. I don't know if that is a good thing to go after. But yes, ASU has lost a lot. They're also losing a corner. One of their starting cornerbacks is gone. Guys, I mean, where was everybody saying that Colorado was going to lose everything? But things keep looking better every single day. As I said, you got to pay attention. Yeah, that's what I would agree, your mom. I don't love it. Injured running backs. I mean, look at what happened at Colorado with our man last year that we brought in from Houston. You know, all the talent in the world, and he's bounced around since he left Colorado. So that's I don't love it. I don't love it. Russell, I will tell you this. The thing that I've been most impressed with watching all of the content out there, which, by the way, there is so much content with Brendan Marion. You could watch a video for a very long time about him. It's just the things that he says, and it's the things that other people have said. You know, Sarkisian at Texas said that Brendan Marion is absolutely going to be a force to be reckoned with in college football moving forward. He said what's great about him is his knowledge and ability already at a young age. But then because of his young age and where he's been, his ability to connect with the young players, of this game, and his ability to recruit, his ability to evaluate talent on the offensive side of the ball. He has got all of the attributes to be one of the greatest, I'm not even kidding, greatest offensive minds that we've seen in the last 20 to 30 years. If not, he already is up there. With his development of his very own system and the things that he's put in place within that system to cause misdirection and just misunderstandings on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, it is hard to read his offenses. Northside, as you said, I wasn't impressed. The problem with his offense is it's not easy to watch and understand. Like you have an idea, and people have thrown out there things like, I've heard it say that it's a triple option offense. I've heard it say it's a wishbone offense. I've heard all these different people trying to put some type of name or, something to describe it based on something that's already out there. The problem is this is a completely new offense. There is nothing out there like it. You might find little comparisons here and there to a couple plays, but the fact is that he is all about constantly developing and changing it. Okay, guys, that's what it's all about. Okay. I mean, I'm telling you that this guy, he does not have an ego. I love that about him already. Like, super smart dude. You can tell from all of his interviews. Super smart dude. But just his ability to understand the game. The fact that he's done it as a wide receiver too, a lot of stuff. Yeah, Marion and Juju is a match made in heaven. Absolutely. People want to say that it's not. I've heard so many people say, let Juju walk, let's do another quarterback. We need a dual threat. No, you need a good quarterback who happens to be able to run. And as we found out in the end of the season, Julian Lewis can run the ball just fine. He can run the ball just fine. To those people out there that wanted to say that Julian Lewis, is not a dual threat, no teams are going to, respect the run with him at quarterback, let them do that. Let them do that. But, that's where it's at. Coach Marion ain't been OC a week and already has his mind framed to lock in-state recruits. The dude is just smart. Free, Russ, I've been talking about 3 options since he came to YouTube. Like, if someone can modernize the style offense, would win big in football. There was a reason it was successful time before. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's why his go-go offense is so crazy. He took offenses that work no matter who you have as personnel. Let's talk about it, okay? Because we can, like I said, it's hard to compare this to the triple option or the wishbone or any of that stuff. It is, because it isn't truly that, but it is in a sense, like you said. You look at teams like Air Force, Army, those teams that instituted that play calling. They did it because they did not have the talent level that the top schools in the country had, correct? And that is why they were successful. So this guy, Brennan Marion, has developed an offense based on that adds in the ability to throw the ball. Because the biggest thing that you have against your Air Force and Army and all of that is they just run the ball. They run the ball down your throat every single play for an entire game. Rarely do they throw the ball. But Brennan Marion has added an impact part to that stretches the field. It's almost a marriage between like an air raid offense with an option offense. Almost like an absolute on steroids West Coast offense to an extent. There's just so many pieces from every offense out there that it's going to absolutely create a crazy thing. And by the way, most of the examples that he has of using that go-go offense is with lesser teams. Now, I'm not saying Colorado is that much better, but I'm saying the point is him at a Power 4 school with a little bit more resources is going to have the ability to bring in a couple of studs to be the center cornerstone pieces of his offense. The quarterback, a couple more offensive linemen that are a little bit better than what he's used to. And then, of course, he's going to be able to bring in some star wide receivers. Some guys that are going to have an impact in this offense that he has not had all the time. He has had it before. You go back to his time at Texas, he didn't get full reins of his offense there, but obviously had Xavier Worthy there and what he was able to do with him. But at UNLV, you could say he had good receivers because he made them good. But did he have like a 5-star best in the nation type of receiver? No, but could he get that here at Colorado? Absolutely, he could with the resources we have. Russ, I know it's too far in the future, but how much the go-go offense will we see in the spring game? I guess not much, because I would want my offense to be a surprise. Eric, I think the base part of the package you'll still see. They got to practice it. So I think you'll still see it. Yeah, your mom, that's a perfect example. It is. It is like a Mike Leach on steroids with the craziest bit of run. Like, it's just crazy. I think that stuff will have run its course, because I have a feeling the go-go could take over college football. Like, it really could, as he grows, as he gets better, as he figures out some more things, and as he gets some more talent into that. They don't need any wide receivers. This team has a plethora of young talent. Oh, absolutely, your mom. Absolutely, we do. But my point is that eventually, down the road, as he starts recruiting more in this, he could get a top recruit in the college football world once they see what wide receivers. I mean, Omarion Miller and Julian Lewis should have an absolutely amazing year. I know everybody's saying that Omarion's gone, but I don't think he is anymore. I think what's going on at ASU is going to, because I had my own inklings and heard that ASU is making a full tilt push for Omarion Miller. That's your little tip of the day. I forgot that out there. But that was before what's happened kind of in the last 48, 72 hours. So that's what you got to understand is if I'm Omarion Miller, I mean, it better be the most money that you could possibly make in your life to leave Colorado at this point, because the chemistry that you have with Julian Lewis and the ability to stretch the field in this offense could be great. Now, the only problem is, will Omarion be able to pick up his blocking game? Because the receivers in the go-go offense have to block. Otherwise, they're not seeing the field. In fact, I tweeted out a quote from Brennan Marion. Okay? And let me tell you guys in the chat, tell me that this does not seem good. Okay? Tell me that this is not what you want to hear about Brendan Marion, okay, when it comes to this offense. Because this is the quote that I got from a coach that is good friends with Brendan Marion, who talked about Brendan Marion. A big shout out to Duke the Scoops, friend of the show. Had him on. He had on Coach Steph Brown, high school football coach, who is good friends with Brendan Marion now. They connect frequently. And he said that the one thing you have to know about the go-go offense, guys, here's the quote: no block, no rock. You're not going to block. You're not going to get the ball as a receiver. Okay? So, Steve, I absolutely agree that Hakeem is going to thrive in this offense. And trust me, he's sticking around. You know, we just saw a video posted to our trainer, dear trainer, Lauren's status. She's working with Hakeem to rehabilitate over his injuries for last year. And at this point, you're not rehabilitating with the football team unless you're sticking around. And with one portal, he's sticking around. I'd understand maybe if he wanted to jump in the spring portal, if that still existed. I do. But that's not what's happening. So Hakeem's here. Hakeem is here. Okay. Jason Phillips stepped down, man, because his recruits can't block for nothing. I don't think he has to step down, your mom. I don't believe he's under contract anymore. He was one of the guys that was on a 1-year deal still. So remember what I said. You're not going to see an official firings. Like, the only coach that could get fired on this staff at this point is Robert Livingston. Everybody else, I believe, unless maybe a couple of the D-line or O-line coaches that just signed deals last year. I don't know if they signed 1-year deals, but most of those guys are on 1-year deals. So there's no firing. There is a, letting them go. There is a no longer retaining them. But just pay attention to that. Just pay attention to that. Texas Tech is the team to beat. Not saying otherwise. But if Colorado can get back on track and this offense can take off with this new play calling and recruiting, we can compete with them. Didn't say we're going to beat them right now. Yeah, Hakeem's not going anywhere. He'd be dumb to go anywhere at this point. Okay, let's talk about the news, of course, because for the last 2 weeks, all I've been hearing is Jordan Seaton is gone. Jordan Seaton is gone. He's out the door already. It's confirmed. He's out. He's no longer staying at Colorado. I told you guys that was not a done deal. I said that negotiations and things behind the scenes were happening to try and retain him. Now, I don't have anything official to tell you about Jordan Seaton, but what I do have is the obvious, and it's what he is posting about. So Jordan Seaton posted about, I know. Hey, and you said he was gone. You said he was gone. Okay, you did. You said he was gone. You were one of those people that said he was for sure out of here. But to confirm for those of you who may not be fully on board or understanding it, the thing about Jordan Seaton is he posted on a story yesterday that he was in the process of doing a commercial with Nerd Wallet in CU Buffs gear. I know, but I told you. You said it was confirmed he was gone. And I said it wasn't confirmed. I said there was still a chance to come back. You said he was for sure gone. Okay. But you're not getting a commercial in Buffs gear with the fact that you're leaving, because commercials take a while to come out. And I guarantee you, if he was in the stadium recording a commercial for Nerd Wallet yesterday, that commercial is not coming out until January. Okay? That commercial is not coming out until January, at which point Jordan Seaton would be gone, and that would ruin that agreement. Because to see Jordan Seaton in Buffs gears in a commercial, that is a big deal. So the good news for you guys out there today is when the season ended, so many people said, Omarion Miller's gone. Jordan Seaton's gone. Heck, there were people that said Julian Lewis would be smart to leave. He would be smart to go. I love those Buffs fans that said he should get up on out of here. Those are the people, and I'm not saying anybody in the chat is those people, but those are the people who should stay on that side. Should stay on that side. So, absolutely, Jordan Seaton's here to stay in the go-go offense. Omarion Miller's here to stay in the go-go offense. Jordan Seaton is here to, the franchise is going to finish his career at Colorado. The franchise is going to finish his career at Colorado. Hey, you respond. You respond. Okay? You respond to them. And let me talk to you guys about why Jordan Seaton is staying. It's not just because of Brendan Marriott, by the way. It's money. It's absolutely money. It's like we talked about. When I said renegotiations, I said, Colorado's number one tool that they can use has to do with retention. Let me talk about that. Retention of players is a whole nother ball game when it comes to the portal years. And I'll be honest. Let's be honest. Let's take a look at Colorado's rosters over the years. Okay? Obviously, you guys are going to bring up the obvious ones that we didn't retain. And I don't know if those ones were so much about money. I think a lot of that retention is, unfortunately, talent evaluation. Okay? And it's why a lot of us are talking to each other right now saying that we would love some different coaches on the defensive side of the ball. Because for them not to try and keep Colton Hood at all costs was dumb. But let's go through a lot of the other players that we did not retain over the years. And truly, how many of them, and again, somebody will bring up Khalil Benson. I think the problem with Khalil Benson was system. I think that Indiana was just a better system for him. Indiana was a better system for him, and that is why he's balling out. Versus what he did at Colorado, which, let's be honest, he was not good at Colorado. I don't know anybody that was yelling to retain Khalil Benson, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh, see, Khalil Benson was a great player. No, Khalil Benson is a good football player. He just needs to be in the right system, and that was not a Colorado. Okay. Nikhil Green, that's one. That's an interesting one. Yeah, for sure. But, I can name maybe on a single hand the players that we should all be upset weren't retained. Whereas you've got other schools having way more issues out there when it comes to retaining good players, like ASU right now. Arizona State is literally going through what you guys said we were going to go through with Julian Lewis and Jordan Seaton hitting the portal. No, they've got now their starting quarterback in Sam Levitt and their starting left tackle hitting the transfer portal. So there are other teams out there that are having that same issue. Okay? Other teams out there having that same issue with retention. Colorado's got a trick up their sleeves, and the Jordan Seaton stuff proves it. And it's what I've been saying to people who say that Colorado doesn't have money. You need to keep the cash on hand, I think, for high school recruits, for the initial player that you get out of the portal. But retention can be handled with real-time NIL. Because the problem is you can promise NIL to players, but they won't see and reap the benefit of that until they're actually on campus and a part of the team and making a name for themselves here. So retention for Colorado, more so, and I'm going to say it, I'm sure I'm going to get some pushback by some people here, but retention for Colorado can be more about true NIL. And Coach Prime and Smack Entertainment, their connections to NIL. Heck, Coach Prime was getting NIL deals for walk-on players last year. You think he was giving them the full amount of money that he could have out of the team's pocket? No. He was getting them NIL deals to cover that. What's even crazier that I don't think anybody talks about, which I still to this day think is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. You got Oregon with their Nike money bags, and yet Shedeur Sanders became the first collegiate athlete to be an official Nike athlete while he was still in college. Tell me how that happens. To me, That screams that Colorado and Coach Prime found a loophole, and Nike found a loophole of like, yeah, we're going to donate all this money to Oregon and try and make them win, but we're going to also find a way to have a nice agreement with Coach Prime over here and his athletes that are going to help both us and them in a different way. So, it's absolutely crazy. But the NIL deals, the real ones, are something that a lot of people in college sports do not talk about when it comes to Colorado very much. Okay? That's what's going on with it, guys. And so to see Seaton with his nerd wallet deal, and I already know that he got a big check from Taco Bell to do that this year, and all sorts of stuff. It's going to be very interesting because I think Colorado, when it really comes down to it, as far as retaining players go, as long as they want to retain them, I think they let a lot of players go just because, a lot of people, and myself included, said that the reason that Dylan Edwards left wasn't because he was homesick. Okay, let's be honest. The fact that he left Kansas State this year proves that it wasn't about being homesick. Everything I heard was Kansas State tampered, offered him a big boatload of money to come on home, and he just couldn't turn it down. And Colorado was not going to match that amount. And so, it just is what it is. Pip-Boy, the Jordan Seaton stuff came from, it started with, I believe it was Brian Howell or Adam Munster-Tiger. They posted over on the Buff Stampede forum that when the season ended, that, they pretty much said that Julian Lewis was sticking around. However, Jordan Seaton was going to need to be recruited to Colorado as he was contemplating leaving. Okay? So there's that. So there was actual smoke to Jordan Seaton leaving. And then a number of other people and players were throwing out there that it sounded like Jordan Seaton was leaving. And then this weekend came about, and not only did Brendan Marion come, but I do believe that Jordan Seaton and his team came to an agreement with Colorado as far as the money goes. How that money works out, we will never know because it's all private. And a lot of it could easily be because of NIL deals. It's no coincidence that, a couple days after all this happens, all of a sudden, Jordan Seaton has a commercial with Nerd Wallet that he's filming. You know what I mean, guys? I mean, let's be honest. I'm not one to always believe in coincidences. I mean, especially when there's multiples happening. So the fact is, Jordan Seaton isn't going anywhere. Okay, Jordan Seaton is not going anywhere. He is staying put in Colorado. Okay. Yes, CB, that is what the focus of the transfer portal will be. The focus on the transfer portal, though, mostly will be defensive side of the ball. I'm telling you guys. Defensive side of the ball is going to be the focus. That's why I said it's going to be very interesting. I truly do have that feeling. Again, I don't have specifics, by the way. This is more of a gut feeling that I'm sure a lot of you guys have. Okay? I do believe that Brendan Marion has full autonomy of this offense. He's going to have autonomy to bring in his own coaches. He's going to have autonomy to bring in players that he chooses and wants. The fact that, again, you guys may not love him. You may not agree with him. But the fact that Matt McChesney is saying that Brendan Marion is already in his ear about recruits tells me all I need to know about Brendan Marion and what his role at Colorado is going to be. He is going to be in charge of all of that. All of that. Okay? I agree, CB. I was never worried, okay? Even when they said that he was leaving and he needed to be recruited. You watch my videos. I said it's not over until, pen is on paper and he's in the portal, because I truly did believe that this team was not going to let Seaton walk. Okay. Yeah. How has Matt Campbell's hiring at Penn State affected Iowa State's recruiting class? It probably will affect it a little bit. Guys, I'm telling you, our recruiting class is not done. This year, because of all of the coaching carousel moves, I don't know if you guys have noticed, there are a lot of committed, unsigned guys who did not sign during early signing day. Okay? So it's exactly what's happening now. Guys, the secondary signing day is going to be more important now. I wondered how this would play out. I wondered with the one-time portal, with the portal being before the playoffs. I wondered how that would affect everything, and what it has essentially done. The reaction to it, obviously, is one, coaches are getting hired much quicker. I mean, it is such a fast-paced hiring timeline. But two, it shows us that early signing day is not what it once was, because early signing day was more about getting everybody signed. Right now, what it looks like is all of the players from Sac State that did not sign on the dotted line. It sounds like in the next several weeks they will be taking visits to Colorado, with the idea of, not all of them. I'm not trying to say all of them, but a few of them are going to get visits to Colorado and then going to make their decisions by late signing period, which I believe is in February. Correct me if I'm wrong there. National Signing Day football. Yeah, February 4th. So I think that now the February 4th National Signing Day is going to be a much bigger piece, and it's going to go back to the way it was before they created early signing day. And so late signing period is going to be more important. And just so you guys know, that I think is going to be where Colorado really expands its recruiting class. And I have a feeling, guys, we'll definitely get up to 15 or 17 recruits at a minimum. But I think when all the dust is settled, we're in the 70s right now, recruit rankings. I think we'll probably be top 50. So to go from outside of the top 100 to 50 within a month, I mean, we can thank Brennan Marion a lot for that. But that's the first part about it. So there's that. Just got here. There's confirmation about Seaton. Did you hear from one of your sources, Russ? Statesman, not a source. I'm going off of common sense at this point. Just FYI. He posted a story that he's shooting a commercial in Buffs gear with Nerd Wallet yesterday in the stadium. You don't shoot a commercial if you're going to hit the portal for another team, because that ruins the commercial. You can't be in another team's gear for a commercial, not legal reasons, but just because it's not smart marketing. You know, if he's in CU gear and all of a sudden he's on Alabama or LSU. So that is our confirmation. And pretty much everybody else that I've been asking and talking to have said it's all but confirmed at this point that Seaton's not going anywhere. So, yep, basically the regular signing day. Exactly what college football used to be, where signing day was a big deal in February. That's what's going on. You know, eval team can't pick high school kids correctly before Marion. Yeah, commercial seals the deal. Yep. Yeah, no worries, Statesman. Appreciate the question. Always happy to answer and oblige. Yeah, early signing day kind of effed with so many coaching moves and the one transfer portal. Yeah, I mean, the reason for it is to get guys on campus early so that they can start learning the playbook and start practicing. At this point, I mean, college football needs to get their you know what together, because they absolutely need to figure out the dates. Everything needs to be pushed past the playoffs. There needs to be exemptions to allow high school players to enroll and transfer portal players to enroll in school second semester, even though it wouldn't be until February when most schools start in January. You're just going to have to figure something out. Let's be honest. I know that people want to say, you know, college athletes are student athletes, student before athlete type of thing. But we're past that point in college sports, and we need to get with the times. How dangerous can this Colorado offense be after acquiring OC Brennan Marion? Dallas, I mean, very, very dangerous. I mean, you look at the stats that he brings at every stop. I saw somebody ask this question on a different stream, and it brought something up to me that they were like, you know, the first question I saw that was very interesting was somebody asked, how quickly can this team pick up Brennan Marion's offense and be effective? But then the other question is, well, why is Brennan Marion jumping jobs so often? Because if you look at his track record, I mean, he stays at a place no more than 2 years, mostly 1 year and out. 2 years and he's gone. Okay? That right there shows how effective and how this offense can be learned rather quickly because of this offense and how it's operated. So I have no doubt that it can be dangerous. And here's why I think it can be even more dangerous than even he has had in the past years. At Sac State, at UNLV, he was tied at Pitt a little bit. God, I mean, we can go down the list. The stops for Brennan Marion are absolutely crazy. I mean, the guy has been everywhere, has done every job imaginable. Okay. So, by the way, guys, if you already missed this earlier, I am putting together a profile about Brennan Marion. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Okay. Because my goal is to have it out by Wednesday. At the latest, the video will be Friday. I am going to go through his entire history from his playing career to his coaching history to where we are at today. And we're going to go through the go-go offense. We're going to go through what he talked about. We're going to go through all of it in that video. So you will not want to miss it. That is what I'm working on now. Okay? But just to let you guys know a little bit about him. Okay? Coaching-wise, started his career as the head coach of St. Patrick St. Vincent in Vallejo, California. So high school coach, okay? Then moved to Pennsylvania. So he's got connections, by the way, in California, guys. He's got connections in California. Arizona State in 2015 as quality control. 2016, Oklahoma Baptist as a running back coach. That's right, guys. Brennan Marion has connections to the running backs as well. Then he went to Howard, where he was the offensive coordinator. Okay, and in the first game of his career as offensive coordinator at Howard, his offense helped beat FCS, Howard University, beat UNLV. And it was the largest upset in college football history, by the way, per the history page I'm reading. 45-point underdog over UNLV, and they won. Okay? So, success. Then he went to William & Mary, following his head coach from Howard. So, he followed along with that guy to just keep up that. But then, listen to this. He became the wide receivers coach at Hawaii in 2020. Okay. Then in 2021, came over to Pittsburgh as the wide receivers coach. Then in the end of December, so 2022, Brennan Marion went to Texas to be the passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach under Steve Sarkisian. Okay. He was there for 2 years. No, 1 year. So another 1 year. Then he went to UNLV. He was at UNLV for 2 years as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Of course, won coordinator of the year at UNLV. And then this past year, he became the Sacramento State head coach, where he drastically improved Sacramento State's offense. And by the way, the reason he left Sacramento State, because people are like, well, he keeps leaving all this stuff. Why did he leave a head coaching job for Colorado? That's a demotion. Well, it looks like Sacramento State promised to get Sacramento State to the FBS level, and they have failed to do so. So he decided to leave. They didn't hold their side of the bargain, so he left. And that's where we're at. He's now at Colorado. But look at that coaching resume. And if you go to each of those coaching stops, by the way, guys, each of those coaching stops, Brennan Marion drastically improved the offense there. So how dangerous can this Colorado offense be? I mean, the sky is the limit, because out of all those stops, Texas had the most skill and ability, and he wasn't even, play calling. He was instituting some of the go-go there. He was, as part of the passing game coordinator with Steve Sarkisian. But it wasn't until UNLV that he really got to take the reins of that offense. and really, really show it. Really, really show it. So because of that, he might have the ability and resources to put together the best talent he could for this offense. So the fact is, this offense can be successful with lesser talent, which is great, especially in year one. Okay. It might take him some time to build up those coffers, so to speak, of talent, but he could have a chance to have even better talent here in Colorado. And with that, I mean, what the go-go offense could be with some really good, talented players. Ooh, man. Ooh, man. Alexis, I love it. I love it. Oh. Low-key need all those coaching position experience to grow and develop. Freester, he's done it all. He's done it all. Like, that's what's crazy. And what else that does too, guys? Let me just talk about this. Coach Marion has connections. He is a Sarkeesian tree member. He's got connections in California. He's got connections all over the West. He's got connections on the East Coast. He's got connections to the South. Oh, sorry. I'm a little sick. I'm coming out of it, but voice is killing. We're not going to go for much longer because I need a voice. But yeah, FBS already said they didn't want Sac State. I know. But they promised to get him into FBS. That's why he left. So there's that. Yeah, offense will be night and day difference. Yep. Coach Marion needs to break up the O-line circus. We'll see what happens there. With good talent, that thing will be a headache. Yeah, you add talent to an already easy scheme like that and get in some guys with some real athleticism and talent. Oh, boy. Like, I think Juju can help Brennan Marion revolutionize even the go-go. Like, I know Brennan Marion is revolutionizing football with his system, but add in a quarterback with talent like Juju in there, and he can add some more vertical concepts. He talks about that in his videos. Again, I'm going to show that in the profile. But Brennan Marion, when he talks about the concepts of the go-go, I'm telling you, he is looking for somebody who can spread the field and can hit who he needs to, guys. I watched one play that he said he loves calling, and it's a vertical shot, and it is a quick play action to a deep shot down the right side of the field. And watching that play occur and thinking about Julian Lewis running it, man, I'm excited. I'm excited. Coach Dre in the house. What's up? Yeah, I don't know what happened, guys, by the way. All of your guys' names have changed. Some kind of update with how it's connected to your YouTube account. I have no idea. But I noticed that a lot of you guys are not your original names. Just FYI, but I'll always see you, Coach Dre. I mean, great one. As bad as it sounds, they just need to improve over last year a little bit. If they improve a little bit and the offense improves as much as we think it will under this new system, we will be just fine. We will be competing for the Big 12, and I'm hoping we can compete with the likes of Texas Tech. That's what I'm saying. He's never had talent like Juju. All kinds of wrinkles will be added. Exactly, Steve. Northside, that one's for you a little bit. You know, you asking, it didn't impress you. I don't think it's done. I think there's a lot he can add to it now. You know, getting a quarterback with the arm talent and the accuracy of a Julian Lewis, he can absolutely add in some more stuff in there. Yeah, I would say that's probably the closest he's had to a Julian Lewis. Absolutely. I think that's like the closest, but I think Julian Lewis has a higher ceiling than even him. I do. Andre, I get it. We just know you as Coach Dre. That's why. I'm just so used to seeing Coach Dre as the profile instead. Appreciate you dropping by. Been a while. Boy, if this coach is half as you say he is, Russ, the Buffs will make a 180 in 2026. I think they will anyway. You know, I think the players we're going to bring back, I think the players we're going to add, I think overall it'll be an improvement just on paper of what we had this year, hopefully. But scheme-wise, it's going to be night and day. I mean, guys, here's the bad part. I mean, it's what we have to compare it to. Like, I'm already saying how good Brendan Marion is as an OC, but we also have to remember we're comparing him to Pat Shurmur. We are comparing Brennan Marion to Pat Shurmur. That right there tells you enough about it. Yep, he coached Kenny Pickett. Who did he coach at Texas at quarterback? Because I know that was pretty good too there. But remember, he was not the OC at Pittsburgh, and he was not the OC at Texas. I'm saying this is the first time he's had this high level of quarterback as an OC. That's what I'm talking about. You know? BYU versus Georgia Tech is going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be the only bowl game worth a damn. The rest of the teams seem to be opting out, but BYU, Georgia Tech will be fun to watch. I kind of want BYU to win just so we can say, hey, you know, we barely lost to Georgia Tech and we barely lost to BYU. Let's see what's really going on there. Yeah, Eric, I don't think anybody's missing them. No. He's been in, by the way, he's been in the chat, Robbie. I just don't know if he's making videos anymore, really. I don't know. Yeah, we got to hire DC before portal open up, get some trench and good DBs. Lil Bucket, I'm sorry to say that I don't think Livingston's going anywhere. I'm just saying. I don't think they're paying that buyout. They'd rather use that money on personnel and players and say that that was the biggest reason that Livingston had an issue. So there's that. I think this offense will attract mean O linemen. I think we're going to look for a very specific type of O lineman in the portal, guys. And just so you guys know, hey, listen, I don't think that people are going to be happy with the quote unquote what is going to be perceived as caliber of O lineman, because I think Brennan Marion's going to bring in a very specific O lineman. Okay. Be open about what potential O lineman they can bring in. Okay. That's all I'm going to say when it comes to the portal. Okay. Be open to that. Don't be thinking big names. So you're throwing out there like the ASU guy. He's not coming to Colorado. Okay. Guys like that are not going to be coming to Colorado. Colorado's going to do he's going to be doing something different. Okay. Yeah. Bear did get exposed there towards the end of the season. Rob probably did, if we're being honest. If the 20% is real, Rob is probably the first one to get it. Yep, passing game coordinator at Tech and Pitt. Yep. I like the Marion hire, but Juju's bad fit, and you guys are too high on him. He was a system quarterback in high school, and his school got better after he left. He still hasn't won a game in college. Kevin, you crazy. He has to bring an O-lineman that fit his offense. Yep, exactly, your mom. It's going to be a little bit different than what we're used to. Don't forget, his go-go offense is no huddle, fast pace to create a fifth quarter as possessions go. Correct. I'll be talking about that in the profile. He talks about that. His number one goal is to create enough snaps. In fact, his goal is 80 snaps on offense. Normal offenses in college football, I believe, are like 50 to 60 snaps, and he wants to do 80. Northside, $10 because he also put in the $5 sticker. Appreciate Northside. O-line coach is my biggest concern, as they are able to teach blocking schemes for the go-go offense. And I wonder if the time this month is going to be spent with Brennan Marion and the offensive line coaches to see how they translate and understand the system. Because at that point, Northside, then I would make my decision. You know? Then I would make my decision about what's going on. Yeah, they were in the championship game as well. And last time I checked, they lost last year and they lost this year. Did they not? Did Carrollton lose last year and this year? You said that they were better. Seems like the same results with Juju, same results without, but that could also be just a really good team. But you can't tell me that Julian Lewis didn't will that team at times to where they were. I mean, that's just crazy work. That's just crazy work. I'm happy we don't play BYU next year. I'm happy to play Utah instead. Yeah, Utah's going to be an interesting one this upcoming year. Trust me, Ski, I would have been on the call with Pat Surtain for DB coach. Did Carrollton beat? I thought I just saw a post that said Carrollton lost to Buford. Did I get that mixed around? Well, whatever's going on there. Yeah, I think we'd all want Pat Surtain as a coach, and I don't see why not. I mean, the moment that got announced, I would have been Coach Prime on the phone calling up Pat Surtain. Okay, you're saying they lost. I see Buford as number one. I see their number ones. Buford's there too. Pat Surtain or Champ Bailey. I know Pat has experience, but Champ is Champ. I mean, I'd go with Pat. I'd go with Pat Surtain. Pat Surtain, 100%. Pat Surtain, 100%. That dude, I mean, Florida State is crashing out, guys. Florida State is crashing out at losing Pat Surtain. Russ, word is Colorado bringing in high and energetic defensive person. I do think that I do think that there's going to be changes on defense. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. There's going to be changes. There are going to be changes to the staff. We just have to wait for them to play out. Okay? We got to wait for them to play out. Okay. So, we're going to call it there, guys. Like I said, I am exhausted, losing my voice. Probably won't have my voice tomorrow, but hey, that's fine. That is fine. Yeah, Pat Surtain is the guy. Pat Surtain is him. We better bring in Pat Surtain. If we bring in Pat Surtain, I mean, this is a near perfect offseason. Guys, I'm being serious. Like, that's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. Yes, we are. One position we never worried about was DB in recruiting. My only concern about go-go is that up-tempo is great until you start going 3 and out. No time off the clock. No rest for your defense. Defense needs to be greatly improved next year. Mama C, I mean, his offense, by the way, third down conversion is quite high. Quite high. So I don't think they're going to go 3 and out as much as you think. But yes, I mean, defense is going to need to be improved, and that's the plan. That's what they're focusing on this offseason. By bringing in Brendan Marion, they don't have to necessarily focus on offense the same way they do on defense. Imagine a world where, okay, players have to be in shape. Yes, we do. And that's why I would love to have Pat Surtain on this staff. Okay, guys. Hey, if you don't mind, please hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Okay. You know you want to. You know you wanna be here for that. Okay. Because we're getting close. We're getting close. You guys killed it over the weekend with my show last week with David, with my show on Friday. We are so close to the 6,000 subscriber mark. 6,000 subscribers. We're at 5,886. We were at like 5,750, like not that long ago, last week. Yeah. We're going to get the tea going, you know, maybe mix in a little bourbon in it, if you know what I mean. But guys, I appreciate you so much for being here. Hey, hit the like button, guys, if you don't mind on your way out. Like I said, that is the biggest thing you can do to help this channel. I love everybody who always throws out the super chats. Keith, Northside. I got to go down my member list because it exploded last week thanks to you guys. I will always give a big shout out to everybody. So big shout out to all the members. Cedric Phillips, Jordan Williams, Out of My Mind, David Walker, Joseph Melendez, Keith, Northside, Brian C., Louisiana, and David Talks Buffs. Thank you guys so much for being members of the channel. Okay, appreciate you guys. As always, if you want to become a member, I guess it's super easy now on your phone, but you just hit the join button. It just helps out. $2 a month, just throws a cup of coffee my way. It's a way of supporting and saying, hey, and like I said, we get up to a certain number, which we're pretty much at. I might do some private streams once a week or once a month for those of you that are members of this. And hey, you can jump on a Zoom call. We'll do something like that. But awesome. You guys are awesome to have done that and joined last week. So I appreciate you guys. Okay. We'll see you later. I'll be back later on this week to talk about all of the breaking news, because there's going to be even more breaking news this week. I'm telling you guys. But hey, the happy news, Jordan Seaton's here to stay. Julian Lewis is here to stay. Most likely Omarion Miller is here to stay as well. But don't worry, guys. Colorado is looking to build. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Brian. Appreciate you, Northside. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the show today. Until next time for Buffs News Weekly Live, I'm Russ. Go Buffs.